5th of August 2020. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. This is the newspaper review segment on Good Morning Africa, live on your number one station, Pan African Television. Super excited to come your way with this particular edition. It gets exciting by the day, and it gets exciting as a result of your continuing support for the morning show. I'd like to extend a very warm good morning to everybody who's watching us, who's tuned into Pan African Television, who has decided to choose us instead of the others. We're grateful to you. And to those of you who are watching us on Facebook, we cannot thank you enough for always spending your data to watch the morning show on Facebook and on YouTube. We're grateful to you eternally for always supporting the morning show. This morning, we're going to be discussing very pertinent issues here, as always. And I would respectfully like to share with you what the topics are for today before I introduce my wonderful panelists for the conversation this morning. Akufo-Addo illegally used public funds to pay his foreign election consultants. National Justice, I don't know which newspaper is that, but then it says National Justice. NBC challenges MPP to debate over achievements in government. Ghanaian Times reported that story. I will cancel a Japan royalties deal if I'm elected president. Mahama Brax, the New Crusading Guide, also reported that particular story. So these are the issues that we have tabled for our conversation this morning. We will try as much as possible and exhaust all of these wonderful issues. But most importantly, you do recall that over the weekend, the CPP went for their Congress. And, you know, we're fortunate to have Hadia Hamdatu here, was the acting chairperson for the CPP. And we're going to be listening to her, the process, what happened, how it transpired and everything, and her message of hope for the CPP and for the Ghanaian people. So welcome aboard, and make sure you join in the conversation with your WhatsApp messages via WhatsApp number, which is 0260846539. 0260846539. As always, you can connect with us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Pan African Television. I'm also on Facebook, so you know, don't hesitate at all to share with me what your thoughts are. My Facebook handle is Kwame Owusu Danso, Kwame Owusu Danso, and on Twitter and Instagram is at Kwame Owusu Danso. So you can as well connect with me on there. I'll be more than willing to read your messages here on the show. I've been joined in the studios, as I intimated earlier, by Hadia Hamdatu Ibrahim. She's here seated. Good morning to you, Hadia, and thank you very kindly for your time.
Yeah, good morning.
Also here seated is Gabriela Tete. Gabriela, good morning to you, and thank you very kindly for your time as well. And Saka Salia is also here seated. Saka, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
I love your new look, by the way. I love the fact that the beard has gone down a little bit. And your new glasses.
That's the spirit we are going into the elections.
Fantastic. You look very, very good.
Thank you very much.
He's just looking very NDC.
With his green and black.
We are coordinating. Today we are alliance.
All right, so it promises to be a very wonderful conversation today. We are definitely going to agree and disagree at some point, but most importantly is for the forward march of our dear nation Ghana. We always have to ensure that we have such conversations in order that we can bring about the development and the change that we're all looking for. And so every time when we get the opportunity to sit here, it's not as though we are more intelligent than you, the viewers out there, but it's because we are privileged to you know, get the opportunity to have a conversation with you. And so your views, your expressions, your disagreements, and whatnot are very, very incidental to the success of this particular show, which is why I implore you, as you know, every day to share with us what your thoughts are, so that at least we can also get to compare notes and see whether or not what we are saying finds expression within the conscience of many Ghanaians in this nation and beyond. Also, to all our viewers who are watching us across the length and breadth of Africa, we're grateful to you as well. Those of you watching us in Gambia, Senegal, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, Togo, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, we're grateful for always watching the morning show. Now, let's quickly kickstart the conversation, and I want to start with Hadia Hamdatu, as I intimated, because I just want her to give us a brief overview of, you know, the Congress over the weekend, and, you know, her expectations before the numbers started trickling in, and what she thinks, you know, should be the future of CPP. Hadia, good morning again.
Good morning, Kwame.
I've actually, you know, learned something from you.
Sure.
And that is courage.
Sure.
That is to have the fortitude to withstand unforeseen pressures.
Sure.
You know, and the fact that you have been very receptive, if you will, you know, to the changing times, and the fact that you are willing to throw your weight behind the party. I mean, I've had prior conversations with you, and what I gathered from that conversation really has motivated me that it doesn't matter whatever competition it is that you go into, You know, the fact that you lose does not mean that you cannot win in some respect. So, Adia, for that, we're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you too.
But please share with us your experience.
Yes, good morning to our cherished viewers out there, especially the delegates of the Convention People's Party. I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for what happened on Saturday. It was a family affair. We all entered into the Congress hoping that we will win. Some of us couldn't make it. And that doesn't mean that we should stay back and say because you've not. You know, Kwame, people should know Haja Hamdatu better. Why? Because in 2011, I lost an election. People didn't even know that I've lost an election in this country before. And I worked for the CPP until I was voted the first vice. Then I took over, acted for almost 1.5 years. Went back to the delegates to tell them, give them my reasons for them to vote for me. They didn't vote for me. That doesn't mean that I should stay back and say, oh, because I've not been voted for, I'm not going to help the CPP. Because this current leadership are new, with the exception of one person in terms of the hierarchy of the party. So are we going to sit down and say because somebody has taken over, we are going to sleep? No. I think I'll call on all those who voted for me because I had close to 700, that's 682 votes, which was not bad because there were 4 people who contested.
Absolutely.
And then one definitely will be the winner. Yeah. That's Nana Himasapon Kumankuma. We all have to support the new leadership. As for me, if I'm called upon in the morning, afternoon, evening to help the CPP, I'll do it. But it is incumbent on the new leadership to get everybody involved. But if you say maybe because you have won, I want this person, I don't want this person, because I remember quite well when we took over from Sunyani, all the CC members Samia appointed were retained in the with the exception of some few, and then it's a blend. If you look at my message, I said I was the bridge between the young and old, thinking that when I emerged victorious, I was going to blend the youths and the old, so that we'll forge some kind of unity in the party. But it is left with the leadership, the newly elected leadership, to give us directions. If you ask me what's the way forward, it will be premature or it will not be fair for me to say that this is how we are going. No. What I put on the table, people did not buy into it, so they didn't vote for me. So we rather wait for the new leadership to give us guidance, to give us direction, to tell us where they want to take us in this election. After the election, what is the way forward for the party, and so on and so forth. And I'm ready to give my expertise, the experience that I've gathered for about 25 years in the CPP to help the new leadership. Elections is not about just winning. You can also contribute your quota to build this party. When you were in your intro, you said we are doing it for the country, isn't it? So if I'm in a political party that I wanted to lead, and they said, no, maybe Hajia, this is not your time, I have to do it for my political party and the country that I cherish.
Absolutely.
So that is what I'm going to do for the party.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be... Yesterday, when Justice called me, and then one of my daughters said, Aja, who is calling you? Because it's I recently just Pan-Africa. So I said, oh, it's Pan-Africa, give it to me. That, oh, Haja, where are you going? Mommy, I said, I'm going to Pan-Africa. That, oh, no, Mommy. I said, no. I am a fighter. That's why my name is Ya. I'm going to stay with them and do the needful for the Convention People's Party.
But are there some lessons that you've learned from this particular process? Particularly, we know what characterizes the other, political parties and their congresses and things like that. Issues about people paying and making promises and things like that. Do you think that some of those things may have accounted for your loss? Because we know it cannot be eschewed. Well, as it stands now, those things cannot be eschewed immediately from our body politic. But those things are also fundamentally what are affecting, the progress of the nation, because then people have to pay their way through, even if they are incompetent. Did you see that happen?
Kwame, do you know something?
Tell me.
I don't want to belong to the group of people after losing election, then they start crying foul. I don't want to be part of that. Because if we do that, I'm sure every political parties have their challenges when it comes to congresses. But I don't want to discuss this. That let the delegates, let those who observed, those who were promised certain things, let them come and testify. I don't want to be part.
Were promises made? I mean,
well, I don't want to, because let me tell you.
But you talk about NDC, you talk about MP.
I want the unity of this party.
Absolutely.
I want the unity of the
more reason why you need to, we need to speak about some of these things.
If promises were made, when we're coming, you also chance upon a message.
Absolutely.
A big promise.
Absolutely.
Maybe it could be a factor, but somebody like me, if I receive that kind of message, I just know that maybe it's a sham. But some wouldn't read between the lines. But let's pray that maybe whatever promises were made will be fulfilled. That's my prayer.
Anyway,
but as for what went wrong, the most important thing is that I lost an election, and I'm ready to help my party, because that is the party that I love. I've worked for the party for the past 25 years. I wouldn't take one election defeat to say, oh, it's over. No, I'm going to help the Convention People's Party. Currently, a young man is contesting in my constituency, that's Kumbungu, where I went to register. I will go and help him, because we need that seat badly. Other places that I think the CPP will do well, I'll be available. But we have to listen to the leadership, how they want us to manage the party, how they want us to help, in what way. Then we'll bring our expertise to bear in whatever they're going to do.
In the future, you don't have any parliamentary...
I'll seek for the chairmanship again.
Okay.
I'll come back again. Okay. Hey, I'm not going to stop.
Fantastic. Well, that's the spirit of a fighter. If you just joined in, you're watching the news preview segment here on Pan-African Television. And I decided to have this 2-minute interview with Hajia because she went into an election over the weekend, and we just wanted to learn from her, what her experiences are, and going forward, what she intends to do for the party and for herself. And I think that she's given a very eloquently succinct answer to those questions, answers to those questions that I asked. So, Hajia, thank you very kindly. Gabi, how's it going for your party, though?
Very well.
How well?
Exceptionally well.
How exceptionally well? You've not said anything.
Our presidential candidate, our flag bearer, and our VIP running mate have all been very busy touring the country. Professor Jane, the running mate, has been to the north. I think currently she's somewhere in the... I forgot which region exactly she is now. But her campaign team keeps moving from... They've been to Upper West, Upper East, Northern Savannah. They went to Bono. They were in Sunyani.
Bono is not Bono.
Bono. It's spelled Bono. Then they were in the Sunyani area, Jasekai. So the campaign trail keeps moving.
Okay.
And sometimes it's difficult keeping up with them, where exactly they are. The flag bearer is also somewhere in the greater Accra region now. He went to Volta and Oti regions, and his team is now in Accra somewhere. I don't know where exactly.
He's been firing missiles. He's been firing missiles, verbal missiles.
But the grounds have been very good for both of them. I mean, everywhere that they've been, they've received massive crowds. And I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the NDC to thank everybody who is reaching out to them. Sometimes even midnight, when their campaign vehicles are moving, you see communities stopping them by force so they can hear them speak to them. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And I want to remind people that as much as you want to meet him and see him and hear him speak, to also remember to verify COVID protocols and to verify their names in the register and vote. Because that's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. He's been firing missiles, and the recent one has to do with Okada, which is catching flames.
I don't know why people are apprehensive about that.
No, it's not about apprehension. People are actually buying into it.
Yeah, but there's still some people who are against it because of the safety aspect of Okada operations. But there's risk in even driving.
Absolutely.
When you travel by air, do you know when the aircraft is going to fall down and crash? You don't know. So there's always a risk element around transportation and movement. But I think that is a brilliant policy. I mean, when you go into the hinterlands, where we don't have adequate transport services in terms of public transport services, And we also don't have enough trotros, which is a very common means of transport in rural Ghana. Motorbikes have proven to be the most reliable and the most convenient for a means of transport at the moment. I think that it is better we legalize it and develop safety and regulatory protocols to promote whatever risk that we think makes that whole Okada thing a negative to our society, and look at how we better it to become a positive, because it's serving a purpose.
Absolutely.
It's providing jobs to young people. It's providing reliable transport services to people in communities that I've mentioned earlier do not have proper transport services. It is a faster mode of transport, because when you're moving in the vehicle traffic, the motorbikes have much more easier leeway to pass through and make the journey even shorter. I was listening to the president.
Road protocols. I mean,
no, you have to teach them and enforce it. I was listening to the president of the Okada Riders Association, and they're very excited about it. All the video clips I've seen on social media about people commenting, riders especially, commenting about the policy have been positive. You know, but of course, we in the cities, because of the number of vehicles that move on the road, and then sometimes the behavior of some of these motor riders themselves when they are driving in the road, I think we try and what's the word, project that is the case everywhere else in Ghana, but that is not so. I mean, you've been to Rwanda,
absolutely,
and you know how it operates in Rwanda.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. I was going to say, actually.
You know,
not just in Rwanda, even in Kenya. I was in Kenya.
I haven't been to Kenya yet, but I've seen them in Rwanda.
In Rwanda, in Tanzania.
And they keep them to one lane.
Yeah.
So the other lane is free for vehicles that have to move faster. Rider and passenger are all in helmets.
Yep.
And I even think that aside the helmet, we should make it mandatory that all riders and their passengers also wear the arm guards and the leg guards, because of sometimes how vehicles come close to each other, especially in the urban areas, bigger urban areas like Greater Accra. So I think that we should try and rather develop protocols in the regulations and see how that...
First of all, let me know from you, were your expectations met in terms of the organization of the event? That is one. And then two, in terms of the content of the manifesto that was put out. I've seen on social media, and I think that I've also done an extensive reading on the manifesto. And what I found out was not necessarily promises, but telling Ghanaians what you have done. I mean, the promises that you made in 2016 and what you have done to address those promises that were made in 2016. I've had the occasion to really speak to people relative to this particular subject matter. And I think that, you know, once you are here seated, it will be only fair and proper that you share with us, first of all, your assessment of the whole organization of the manifesto launch, and then we zoom into a little bit of the content, not too much. You know, I give them a few minutes, so yeah.
Thank you very much. And once again, good morning to our cherished viewers, especially the MPP fraternity. And then let me also say, Hajia, better luck next time. I think she has been very loyal to the party. One would have expected they will endorse her and let her continue with the work, with all her sacrifice and all that. But I don't know whether the CPP loyalty doesn't count. By evidence of what we saw, it means that you need to be somebody who promise or do something else to hoodwink the people. But she's, you know, an iron lady, and I know she will go and then come back stronger.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then especially my brother Kabila too. With all his knowledge.
Kabila is very good.
And you know, Nana Yajentua too is a friend. He's a friend of mine. You know, when we were in opposition, she was a spokesperson for the PRC. You know, we were always fighting every now and then, every time, and through there we became friends and all that. So, I think the CPP with the support of Hajia and co from the fringes, they can still push the CPP to go. And I know you are also a member, or I don't know whether an associate member of the CPP. Sometimes you hide behind CPP, to do mischief, but it's okay.
Oh. Are you attacking me now?
I'm attacking you seriously.
Hadia was going to handhold me and drag me into the CPP, but now I don't know whether I will join. I won't join. I
beg you.
I won't join you.
Please join.
I'm sure if my friend...
Let's give Nana Hima and her...
the platform is always available for everybody.
Let's support them.
The platform is always available.
The party is supreme.
But the platform is always available.
and I was also hearing Sekou Nkrumah, giving all manner of missiles on the Onzi. So it's one of those things.
Yep.
Kwame,
that's my boss.
The NPP manifesto launch, it brought in, and it gave me sharp focus. What happened in 2016? You could see the enthusiasm. In 2016, when we went to the trade fair to launch the manifesto, the enthusiasm, that was when the real enthusiasm was. And fast forward to 2020, there is still enthusiasm, but we know that the times are not the same. We are in a different time owing to the COVID pandemic and all that. But if you look at what happened in Cape Coast, it gives you a sense that the people are satisfied with the governance of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It gives you a sense that the NPP government, even without even knowing, if you are somebody who just landed in Ghana and you get there, you can read the people and know exactly what is happening in Ghana. The people of Cape Coast have woken up and they have demonstrated that they have strong love for the NPP and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Anywhere that you go, some of us went to the UCC campus.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Went to the town itself, market women, all of them. I mean, the youth, the teeming youth of Cape Coast, the farmers, the Ekonfi and other places, the NDC former chairman and everybody, all of them.
Alote Jacobs, you mean?
Former chairman.
Men.
Yeah, chairman and executives and what have you. All of them. They said that they were going to put politics aside and rally behind Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So I mean, it's not propaganda. We saw what happened. I am not the only person. Everybody saw what happened. But if, apart from the enthusiastic and welcoming action that was demonstrated in favor of the NPP, if you look at the content of the manifesto, it was so great. I told you in Trade Fair 2016, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo said, and this is a profound speech I will never forget. And he has demonstrated time and again that he will stick to his word. He said that his reputation is so great for him. He would never want to mar his reputation, and therefore his pen, once he decides to use the pen to sign onto a document, he knows that he is capable of fulfilling that document, and that is the reason why he will put his reputation and everything to sign that document. And indeed, when he signed that document at the trade fair, that is the document of our manifesto, we never went back. It has been forward march, it has been forward looking, it has been all agreed on the part of our delivery. And same way in 2020, he even mentioned it himself. And if you look at some of the promises that we made with the new manifesto, these are things that are achievable, that can easily be achieved. They are not out of the world. These are not over audacious promises. Because we said that we have done this in 2016. We are going to continue this in 2020. We talk of digitization. We said that we are going to leverage on the digitization drive in order for us to have students, loan without guarantees. And for me, even the most uninitiated would come to the understanding that it is doable. It is doable. Because right now, you have your Ghana card, your biometric data, your TIN number, that is a tax identification number. Your everything is being documented by the state. You go to school, you provide this, you have your addresses. Even when there is change of address, the human being himself cannot change. Because you cannot access anything without the machine knowing who you are. You can't access anything. So you can decide to change your address, you can decide to change where you live, but you remain a Ghanaian. Your blood, your DNA will still remain. And it can easily be verifiable wherever that you are. So for me, it's one innovative way of leveraging on innovation, on digitization. So if we say so, I think that it came as no surprise that the students all over the country were jubilating. There were other things that we promised, like building of a theater in Tamale and Takoradi and all that. The building of the Cape Coast airport. I heard some people say that, oh, Cape Coast doesn't need airports. The same people, when they were building schools in Bush, they said that, oh, I mean, for development, you can do it, and then development will catch up with it. When Kwame Nkrumah was building roads, some people were complaining that, oh, I mean, it was expensive with the kind of population we have, or even the Akosombo Dam. But the people said that, oh, no, I mean, Ghana, we are expanding, we are developing. So why not, think audacious, and then within the next few years, the town can develop up to the standard of the facility. People are saying, even people who came from Cape Coast, ironically, are themselves saying that Cape Coast doesn't deserve airports. And that if there should be airport, we should take it to Ho. And I said that, are these people...
who said that?
People were saying it.
Which people?
I'm sure even Gabi is one of those people.
Which people?
Gabriela. I think she's one of those people who said that Cape Coast doesn't need airports.
My dear,
did you hear that?
By the time you finish your submission, and I say mine, I'm coming to condemn everything you have already spoken.
You are coming to condemn.
Don't come and try and even drop
because I'm not heard anybody say that.
Yeah, I heard it.
To be fair.
Who? No, I heard it.
One name.
Let me see. It's even in the news. That's some experts and all manner of experts all of a sudden have sprung up.
The only person who I think had written something on that was Asan Kuma.
No, please don't go there.
The lecturer, what's his name? Ransford
Jumpo. You see,
yeah,
you see, he also said those things, and you see, but I think that is just preliminary. But let me end with this Okada thing. Let me end with this Okada.
No. I specifically asked different. I asked that.
Oh no.
But I asked Gabi.
No, just. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Let's end with the.
No, let me end with that.
Let's proceed. If you don't have.
No, Kwame.
No, because I didn't ask you about it.
No. You see. No, I am okay. It's part of my submission.
No, but you are done.
No, I'm not done. Let me end with the Okada. I'm saying that this whole thing about Okada. It's just a way of the NDC, because of lack of message, to hoodwink the Okada riders. Let me tell you, on the 17th of February, 2020, I'm talking about 4 or 5 months ago, you go to My Joy Online, you will see that government said, and I had even formed a committee to look into the operation of the Okada business and for us to regularize it. Let me also tell you that the current act, the Road Safety Regulatory Act 128 that we have, was passed by the John Mahama administration to outlaw Okada. They actually made Okada business illegal. And then today, because they have seen the huge number of Okada riders, and they are looking for votes, they want to patronize him by just jumping.
It's the same thing you did with the Galamsey. So don't even come.
No. What do you mean by the same thing?
What do you say?
What did we do to the games?
Because there was also a law to regularize the Galamsey activities. You people
was the law passed by the MPP government?
People, but why? Who was in power then?
No, I'm asking.
Before 2016, were you in power?
So when was the law?
Before 2016, were you in power?
And I'm saying that when was the law passed?
So when you people came. In 2016,
Kwame, you
promised the people. Equalization.
Is he?
It is only a fool who doesn't change his mind.
Is he where you are doing the argument for her? But I'm saying that but I'm saying you see, after this Okada thing,
okay,
I am not even sure that the Okada riders themselves will fall in that, because and I'm also sure that the committee that government put together. Even by the end of the term
they
of
would
this
have
government,
regularized it.
They would have.
Then
they would have come out with a report to either regularize this or to give us reasons why it is not feasible.
Your point is well made. That's it. Let's proceed. Akufo-Addo illegally used public funds to pay his foreign election consultants. This is by National Justice. I've read extensively the story, but I think I need to also share with you. So this is a story that is captured by National Justice. I don't know who owns this paper or who is the editor of this particular paper.
He is capable of writing those things.
Justice Appeal of Pan-African TV.
Yeah, he can write those things.
So despite Ghanaian laws, Ghana's government paid KRL International for services provided for the New Patriotic Party. Despite US laws, KRL International provided services for a foreign political party while being paid by the government of a foreign country. The KRL MPP contract on June the 1st, 2016, American PR firm KRL, the way I'm saying this KRL, I swear, International entered into an agreement with I Am For Nana Foundation, an organization created by Ghana's New Patriotic Party to fund the presidential campaign of Nana Akufo-Addo. According to the registration form filed with the U.S. Department of Justice, which monitor foreign lobbying, the beneficiary of the services provided by KRL was a foreign political party, New Patriotic Party, and the exhibit is attached to it, Exhibit 5788, Exhibit AB 201607217. And there's actually a document attached to this particular report. The declared aim of the agreement was to support free and fair elections in Ghana in support of Nana Akufo-Addo presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. KRL was employed to provide lobbying services with the U.S. government, the donor community, and media institutions, advise Nana Addo on the communications strategy, and provide in-country support as required and appropriate throughout the electoral process. In fact, according to KRL's website, the PR firm, founded and led by River Levinson, a specialist in dirty lobbying and influence operations, River Levinson's dirty lobbying and influence operations ran the entire presidential campaign of Nana Akufo-Addo. There's a website attached to this. Signatories and fees. The agreement was signed by Chris Beatty, Managing Director of KRL, and Ken Ofurata, Director of I Am For Nana Foundation. A long-time associate of River Levinson, Chris Beatty, had also been involved in the Cosmos Energy-sponsored smear campaign against Ghana in 2009 to 2010. There's also a website to it. MPP's main financier, Ken Ofurata, is Nanado's cousin. These are unnecessary. But who was appointed finance minister in January 2017. Ofurata has recently partnered with ExxonMobil in the Deepwater Cape 3 Points oil block. The fee specified in the contract was $7,500 per month without expenses, but the payments were much higher. By January 31st, 2017, I Am For Nana Foundation had already paid KRL more than $100,000 for consulting services and travel-related expenses. There's also an exhibit attached to it, and which exhibit is quoted here. The breach of law, contract extension with Office of the President-elect for Ghana. Nana Akufo-Addo won the December 2016 presidential elections and assumed the office on January 27, 2017, KRL continued to campaign on Nanado's and MPP's behalf. A contract extension was signed on February 27, 2017. The beneficiary, MPP, and purpose supporting Nanado remained the same, but the payment no longer made by a private entity, which private entity is I Am For Nana Foundation. They were now made by the office of the president-elect for Ghana, using public funds. There's also an exhibit attached to it. According to the amendment filed by KRL with the United States regulators, original contract was with the Election Campaign Foundation for Nanado. He became the president and is now the president of Ghana. This contract extension for this reporting period is between KRL International LLC and the office of the president of Ghana. It continues at page 10, but I don't want to belabor this. Saka, how true is this?
Well, I'm just hearing this for the first time. I don't know where this is coming from, but just reading from what you have already, listening to what you have already read, I think that the first contract was just between I'm For Nana Foundation and then the KRL. And to that extent, I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody, looking for a consultant anywhere in the world, to teach you how to communicate your policies in order for you to win election. Because our law says that you cannot seek for foreign sponsorship. But when it comes to, consultancy and then knowledge acquisition, I don't think that it is out of place for any organization to seek the help of another, even outside. Today, as we are here, you can decide to Google, which is not a Ghanaian a platform, So it means that you are also lending support from a foreign entity and all that. But where I am not sure of the whole thing is to say that there is an extension of contracts, and now it is between the office of the president and that of the KRL. That is where the matter is. But the government that I know, I don't think that would do that. Would go into such a contract. I mean, I'm sure the foundation still exists. The Am For Nana Foundation still exists. So if you do not have a contract with somebody, how do you extend it? Because in the first place, the KRL never had a contract with the office of the president. So where from this extension? It means that if they have any contract, it means it's a new contract that they have. That is supposing, granted without admitting, that they have signed some documents with the office of the president. It cannot be an extension of the contract between Am For Nana Foundation. I'm
following you.
Yes.
I'm following the argument.
I mean, lawfully, it will not be logical for anybody to say that I'm extending. For instance, if Kwame had a contract with an entity, and then you decide not to go ahead with the contract, or after the expiration of the contract, and then a different person comes in, it means that I'm coming for a different contract with that entity, not an extension of the Kwame's contract. So so the person should be able, we should be able to have the details, the nuances of the new contracts and what it's meant for. If the office of the president actually needs foreign hand or a foreign consultancy in the person of KRL, that would be made public because it's a public institution. And then we have the Right to Information Act that is yet to be operationalized anyway. But there are other ways one can, get such information. It is so easy for anybody to inquire from the office of the president to know whether they had a contractual arrangement with the KRL. But if you throw some of these things into the public domain, we have the right to interrogate them. We have the right to interrogate that the office of the president and then the I Am For Nana Foundation are not the same. These are two entities, and therefore one cannot extend the other contract. So for me, I think that from the word go, this story is effective. Much has not been given to us to actually ascertain the veracity or otherwise. This almost everything that is being thrown out there seem to me like they are just throwing mud, you know, just to dirty the office of the president.
Okay. So this, if you open opensourceinvestigations.com, it has a link that takes you to the website of the exhibits that I was talking about.
Yeah.
When you click on any of the exhibits, and I clicked on this particular exhibit, the one that says cover-ups and false statements, which says on June 28, 2017, KRL International and Government of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, entered into a new and different consultancy contract.
Exactly.
Okay. And they said this is a cover-up. On August 30th, KRL filed an amendment to clarify change in name of a KRL International LLC client, suggesting that the replacement of Ayamfo Nana with the office of the President-elect of Ghana had never happened. Without mentioning the February 27, 2017 contract extension, KRL claimed that once President Akufo-Addo took office, a new agreement was consummated between KRL International LLC and Government of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, on June 28th. At that point in time, KRL said the agreement between KRL International LLC and Ayamfo Nana Foundation was terminated because the campaign effort was no longer existed.
Yeah.
But people are raising concerns because of the kind of relationship that existed prior to the 2016 elections, which relationship was now continued after Nana Danko Akufo-Addo assumed the reins of power. Which is why people are raising questions about the ExxonMobil agreement that was reached. Which ExxonMobil agreement was, where is it? Okay, I'll look for it for you. But then it was talking about the fact that there was a certain agreement that was reached between the Government of Ghana and KRL for the purposes of providing similar services. Yes, sorry, Deepwater Cape 3 Points oil block. And this same company was providing services for the Government of Ghana, being paid by the taxpayers' money. So the question that people are raising is that if there was a prior relationship between Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and this particular firm, which relationship was actually very illegal. If you look at
illegal.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, that's what the document is saying. That which agreement was illegal from the outset
to them
for international community to provide lobbying services for any government outside of their jurisdiction was illegal. Okay, so if you transfer that particular relationship onto another relationship, which now begins to mature after, you know, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has assumed the reins of power, they raise some very pertinent questions about that particular issue, particularly
I think that
when there's a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that now, I think that things are becoming clearer and clearer. And then to that extent, I can now say emphatically that this is a useless story.
Why would you say
a very useless story that has no foundation?
Why
Number one, everything that they said is just conjecture. That because there was a relationship between that company and then the Ayamfo Nana Foundation, and then the players, now those actors now are in government, and then that same company have gotten another job with the Cape 3 Points,
provide similar services,
for the
Government of Ghana.
For the Government of Ghana, it means that, I mean, what does that mean?
Okay,
the current similar service, is it illegal?
So you know about about conflict of interest.
No, there's no conflict of interest.
Hold on. You know about conflict
there's no conflict of interest.
Now the services that were provided for Ayamfo Nana Foundation were provided by KRL International.
Yes.
Right? Which services were paid for by Ken Ofori-Atta, who was the board chairman of Ayamfo Nana Foundation.
Yes.
Now this particular Ken Ofori-Atta is now the finance minister of Ghana.
Yes.
This Ken Ofori-Atta, being the finance minister of Ghana, has entered into a new agreement.
Has entered into an agreement. Don't say new. Forget about and entered into agreement with
an institution that ensured
that they work with whilst in
opposition. That ensured the victory for Nana Danko Akufo.
So what's the point?
No. So I mean, there's prior relationship, and you don't think that.
So Kwame,
you don't think that whatever support that they are giving to KRL is as a result of the relationship that they had prior to 2016.
So what is the illegality? So, for instance, let's take it for instance. There's a contractor who is helping. For instance, so there's a contractor helping in the opposition members, and then when the opposition win power, the contractor got job in government. Then somebody will come and say conflict of interest, or what is that?
I'm saying that you gave the job to the person because of a relationship with that person, and I'm saying that which relationship could actually bring some benefit to you.
Listen.
If there's practical benefit that you gain from your relationship with that person, for which reason you give contracts to that person, that is conflict of interest.
No. I'm saying, unless of course you come out with document to show that the person is undeserving of the current job that he's occupying or the current consultancy services that they are occupying, or it was unfairly given to him or to them as against other people who were more competent.
Under the circumstances, was it fairly given?
They are alleged and must therefore be able to prove to us. But you don't come and conjecture that, oh, they had a relationship whilst in opposition with this particular company, and the company has gotten a job, and now that they are in government, and because of that, hell must,
so you find absolutely nothing.
So it's a useless story. There's nothing wrong with the story, with the company, with the KLM International, KRL International having to have a job in Ghana.
I see.
Just because they had previously had a job experience with a private with a private entity. They might get Nana elected, or
I am for
Nana Foundation. So I'm not getting it.
The argument has also been raised that you were unable to fulfill all the financial obligations under that contract that was signed between I Am for Nana Foundation and KRL.
So how much money was
for which reason? For which reason?
No. How much money was left?
I'm asking you a question. Wait, you don't get to ask me questions. I'm asking you a question. I'm saying that there's also that belief
or conjecture.
Belief that the agreement that was signed between I Am for Nana Foundation, which agreement was signatured, if there's any word like that, by Kenu Forata, representing I Am for Nana Foundation and KRL, right? Which agreement meant that you were going to pay a certain amount of money for the services of KRL in respect of ensuring that MPP came to power. You were not able to fulfill all your financial obligations under that particular agreement.
Who said that?
You decided to give them contracts so that those. But of course, I mean, when you read the newspaper, it tells you that 100,000 was paid. I'm not even talking about.
So and then the whole amount was how much?
I'm submitting to you.
Yes.
I'm submitting to you.
Yes.
That your inability to pay for the full services of KRL is the reason why.
So you are submitting to me with that basis.
But I'm telling you that why else would the government of Ghana enter into an agreement with KRL to provide services that they were providing for I Am for Nana Foundation before Akufo-Addo became president? Why else would anybody do that?
Is it the same service they are providing?
But that's what it's telling you. There's a contract extension. Contract extension means that you are extending.
But you yourself said that you yourself read the document here to show that they terminated their contract with.
I'm saying that yes, with the
so where from the extension
again? You didn't listen. I'm saying.
No, I listened.
I'm saying that the assumption was created that the contract was terminated, but the services that were provided by KRL for the current administration was no different from the one that was provided. And I'm saying that
the former service is the same as this one.
Services that were terminated was with I Am for Nana Foundation. Now, what it means is that there has been a new agreement reached between KRL and the government of Ghana. Which services is the one that was provided for I Am for Nana Foundation when you were not in power?
So the same services.
But that's what
so then I Am for Nana Foundation was meant to bring Nana to power. Is that not it?
Is that not what it is?
It was meant to bring Nana to power and all that.
Not what it is.
And then the current services by Ministry of Finance is also meant to retain Nana.
Provide media services and other related services.
Media services to keep 3 points.
And other related services. Are you not listening?
That has nothing to do with politics.
Are you listening to me?
No, I listen to you. See, the current services has nothing to do with politics. Kwame, are you listening to me?
I'm listening to you.
The services that they are now, alleged.
What services are they providing?
I'm coming.
I'm asking you.
Based on the document you read.
Yes,
because I told you,
the document that
I told you that, you see,
I'm
I'm only perusing their documents. I don't have knowledge I have in that. But based on what you are reading, that is where I'm interrogating the issues. And I'm saying that the current services is for Cape 3 Point, the oil field, which has nothing to do with politics. So why would you say that the former services is the same and all that? So please, I think that some of these things you should not buy into that. This is a very useless story that we should not even discuss. Let's get to, because look, I don't even see anything wrong here.
Yes,
I haven't even seen anywhere that shows that. Hold on. That shows that I am for Nana Foundation.
According to this particular release, what services did KRL provide for I am for Nana Foundation?
Oh, the communication services.
Absolutely. And if they provided communication services for Nana to win the election,
to win the elections,
and then the document, the release continues to tell you that Nana Akufo-Addo won the December 2016 presidential elections and assumed office on January 27, 2017. And it continues to tell you that KRL continued to campaign on Nanado's and MPP's behalf. A contract extension. Hold on. A contract extension was signed on February 27, 2017. The beneficiary, which is MPP, and purpose, into bracket, supporting Nanado remained the same. Supporting Nanado remained the same. Which is why I asked you, which services were provided for the MPP by KRL? Now, if the services provided for them was, like you said, for communication purposes, and then they have had a contract extension, which contract extension is to ensure that Nanado
and did they show the contract extension? You don't show any document. I mean, no, you see, some of these things, anybody at all, you see, I can do better than what this guy they are doing.
This is not.
I mean, we don't do this. We can do better than this.
Open source investigation.com.
No, I mean, see, we cannot fall for such lazy journalism. No.
This thing is a very simple matter. It is a very, very simple matter.
I mean, the whole thing has no tail.
NPP in 2016.
I read this document.
NPP in 2016 had a campaign lead. Their campaign was I am for Nana. I am for Nana was used for fundraising to support the candidature of NPP's presidential candidate, then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. This I am for Nana Foundation was managed by a director, one Mr. Ken Oforiatta.
Absolutely.
During the campaign, they contracted KRL to provide lobbying services targeted U.S. government, donor organizations, and the media.
Absolutely.
The second arrangement was for communication strategies.
Absolutely.
When NPP won power and President Akufo-Addo was sworn in, this contract, let me go back one step. The original contract between I am for Nana and KRL mandated that I am for Nana Foundation will pay KRL $7,500 per month. When NPP won power, they had paid in fees $100,000.
Absolutely.
When the changeover happened, and now NPP now sitting in government, this contract still remained. But the payments were no longer being made by the foundation.
Yes.
It was now being made from the office of the president.
Absolutely.
When the contract was with I am for Nana Foundation and not government of Ghana. That is one. In June, there was now another contract which was signed to make the correction of those payments. So the contract now was between this KRL International and the government of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance.
Absolutely.
Signed by
Ken Oforiatta. One
Mr. Ken Oforiatta, who also happened to be the director of I am for Nana Foundation.
Absolutely.
Now, between January to June, where government of Ghana, through the office of the president, was making payments to KRL, there was no documentation or contract between government of Ghana and KRL.
Absolutely.
You saw the payment?
Those are the invoices attached to the article.
Have you read the documents?
No, no.
The invoices
attached.
The invoices.
From the office of the president.
The invoices attached are signed by the Department of Justice of the U.S. government, because they are the ones investigating this thing. That is what has brought out this whole. It's because of the investigations. Because of the investigations of the Department of Justice
for international political parties.
No, but this
and actually and it's also
I'm for Nana Foundation, not a political party. It's a private entity.
What was the intent and purpose of that?
So if it, okay, very well, if it is a private entity, why are we using taxpayers' money to pay for contract between a private entity and an international PR firm?
No, but that is debatable. As to
it's not debatable.
No, I am not even.
You said it is a private entity, so why should government money be used to pay a transaction, a purely private transaction? A purely private transaction.
You talk to Kwame.
No, please, yeah, go ahead.
No, so between June and January to June, those transactions that had taken place. Now, I didn't get to the point where I read as to the total amount that have been paid by the office of the president.
Well, proceed.
If it's in that article.
No, it's not.
But the fact of the matter is, and even Saka has come to worsen the case, because if he's now saying that it wasn't even a political party NPP, and it was the Nana Foundation, which is a private enterprise aside from NPP, then it means that the transaction is even worse than what we even thought it should be. So because it then means that the Minister for Finance has contracted.
Okay. Let me bring this to the attention of our viewers and Saka.
You have just worse.
So if you read the article, getting to the latter part of the article, it says it was a desperate attempt to cover up the fact that for 4 months, from February 27th to June 28th, as you were intimating, Ghana's government paid KRL for services provided on behalf of the New Patriotic Party. By June 28, 2017, KRL had referred to the office of the president-elect for Ghana as a client in 3 forms, filed with the U.S. Department of Justice. And there's also an exhibit attached to that particular, and it gives you that. So the cover-up went even further. In a statement filed with the U.S. Department of Justice in August 2017, KRL International claimed that lobbying services provided by KRL in April 2017 were made on behalf of the Ministry of Finance for the Republic of Ghana. That's where the danger is.
But
they mentioned MPP name here.
Yes, MPP's name is.
MPP could be beneficiary of the contract, but MPP never contracted them in any way. MPP and them, they don't have. There is no contractual agreement between MPP and KRL.
I don't want to debate with you. So let's.
No, but true or false?
I don't want to debate you. Let Gabi make a point, and I'll come to Hadia.
So after June, the new contract was now between Government of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and KRL for the provision of these same services, which means this international PR firm has now gone from servicing a small foundation to now representing the government of Ghana in lobbying U.S. government, donor communities, media institutions, and providing communication strategy now to the government of Ghana. Do you understand?
So what is wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is if you look at the new contract. But the argument is about the old contract and what happened between January to June before the correction was made. Why a Minister of Finance and a president or a presidency were using taxpayers' money to pay for a private arrangement.
To that, I don't believe that happened.
No, this
so
was
how
filed,
do you account for January to June?
This was filed with the Ministry of Department of Justice in the United States because they were investigating.
They're investigating them.
That's how come all these things came out.
And according to further readings,
so this was what
the firm.
So the Ghana government side of the story also.
But according to media articles, the open source article, it also mentions that the lady who heads this PR firm, River Livingston, is also part of the campaign that was funded by Cosmos to smear Ghana, 2009-2010.
Yep.
Which means that she has already done some dirty work on Ghana already. Why would you engage a contract with somebody who has acted against the state Ghana before?
Who acted against Ghana?
Yeah.
Who?
Why have you contracted a company that has
Okay.
worked against the state
The government
before?
of Ghana.
Which company is that?
This company.
KRL.
It worked against Ghana.
In
Not the
2009-2010.
Not
What
the
happened?
company, not the company, but the
There
owner
was
of that
a
particular company.
What did he do?
Let's
What did he do that showed smear campaign?
Smear campaign sponsored by Cosmos against Ghana 2009-2010. You know 2009-2010 there was a new government takeover with the NDC administration.
Yes.
And at that time this thing was that they were going to review the oil contracts.
Yeah.
Because the NDC believed that some of the contracts were suspicious. The companies that owned those contracts had PR firms to also fight back.
Yes.
But they used PR and communication to fight back in the media. All right. Cosmos hired this company with this lady.
They hired them.
Yes.
So they were doing their professional work.
But against Ghana.
So what is wrong with that?
As a state.
If you are a lawyer, don't you even see Ghanaian lawyers acting against the interests of Ghana?
But why are you engaging somebody whose activities has
they are professionals doing their professional work.
And you pay them with the taxpayers' money.
You pay them with what?
Your private job.
What money will you pay them with?
You work against me. And then now I've come to contract you to now using you to
What is wrong with that?
Let me come to Hadia Hamdatu. Hadia, let's hear from you on this subject.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kwame. At times, if I listen to certain arguments or certain write-ups in some of the media papers, I get disturbed. Because we have a situation whereby if there's an issue of national interest, instead of us looking at it with an objective mind, we take a partisan stand, and then we don't really come to the proper understanding of what really transpired.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this? This is a company or maybe an outfit that was contracted by Nana what?
I am for Nana.
I am for Nana,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be a private entity engaging another company to do some kind of PR work for them.
Which is allowed.
Which is allowed. Now, they contracted, the Amfonana Foundation contracted this group of people to maybe lobby donor community, talk to lobby media, international media, and then the US government to sort of find a soft spot for this organization or the foundation. And the foundation basically was formed to support Amfonana to try to campaign, lobby and get certain resources to help the then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo to be elected as Ghana president. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Because we have political parties or maybe group of people trying to lobby people to reason with them when they want to achieve certain goals that they have set for themselves. Now, my problem has to do with where the government came in, because we were told that this is a private entity, and by that time it is between the MPP, not the MPP, but Amfonana Foundation, which the beneficiary party will be MPP, and for that matter, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. After which, maybe that a contract was renewed. That's where I have a problem, because if you let it be like it was a contract between the Ghana government and this KM, and then it is renewed, then that's where I have a challenge. But they can still engage these people with further clarity, like maybe this is the time they are engaging this, because if you say renewed, which means it was some kind of continuous kind of thing, that will raise some suspicion. And I think the New Patriotic Party, and for that matter, the Amfanana Foundation, and the Finance Minister has some clarification to make to Ghanaians. Because if they are doing it on behalf of Ghana government, was a contract entered into, and what was expected of the this company to do for Ghana? Because whether we like it or not, people can engage, or a political power, or a government can engage a foreign entity to do certain work for them. We've seen it before. People can go and lobby for contracts and then say that this is the percentage that I want to take. It has happened before. Maybe if the contract fee is 1 million, I'm taking 10% or 1% of the system. It happened before. But I think we need some clarity, and because it's a bit muddy. We don't know whom to believe. And then I am not a government spokesperson, or for that matter, the KRL spokesperson. But I think this is a newspaper publication with some exhibits of payment. But at least if there is some payment, there must be some signatures attached to authenticate whatever documents that we are having. You understand? But I'm sure as time goes on, since it is being investigated by the U.S. Department, further and better particulars will be provided so that we'll be well informed. But I'm sure, since this is unfolding, I'm sure the government of the day, who is accused of using taxpayers' money to pay services of a private entity in the name of Ghana government, I think we need some clarity from the government, and for that matter, those who are alleging. Because if it's anything at all, even if it's a newspaper reportage, at least we should also do some further investigation to know. Because if we are fighting corruption, if we are fighting to protect the public purse, I think this kind of thing needs some explanation. Because for now, I want to hold back and then go and really read more about this. And then maybe next time when I come, I'll be informed. Because I'm even strong after a defeat. I couldn't read anything. I couldn't read anything too. That is what I'm saying.
It will take a few days for other facts to emerge.
That is what I'm saying.
That's what she's saying. That we need better particulars.
So coming days, we just find out more about KRL.
Of course, which is very good. That is why if something like that happens, I don't jump into conclusion. Because maybe if you just say it, and then later on there are some certain facts that emerges, then you will be found wanting.
But there were signatures attached, because the contract was signed by Mr. Ken Oforiatta, who is the current finance minister.
That is what I'm saying.
Let's
look for better and further and better particulars, because it is very, very, it's an unfolding story, and we are going to follow it with an eagle eye to really understand what is going on. Because I'm one person who doesn't want to jump into conclusion, because I just read it. As I'm telling you, if I knew this was going to happen, because we have to look at it with a very objective mind and see whether there was some fishy deal or not. But if you start saying that because maybe the finance minister was part of it, maybe the deal was not properly done, and further, and later on maybe some emerging this thing comes up, you'll be found, or maybe you've already said it and you cannot take it back.
Right. Thank you very much, Hadia Amdacho. Thank you, Saka. Thank you, Gabi. You are still watching the newspaper review segment here on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Owusu Danso. Let me remind you again that the WhatsApp number is active. It's 0260846539. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Kindly share the link so that others can also watch and share with us what your thoughts are. I'm going to be reading a lot of your messages, but before then, let me go for this quick commercial break. When I come back, we will now discuss what former President and leader of the flag bearer of the NDC has been saying. Quick commercial break. Stay with us.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Thank you very, very much for staying tuned into Pan-African Television. My name again is Kwame Owusu Danso, and this is the News Preview segment. We're here with Saka Salia, Gabriela Tete, and our very own Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahim. Let me read a few of the messages that have come through, and then I will start with Hajia on the next, no, actually, Gabriela on the next topic. It says, KOD, have you seen what I once told you about the MPP? Sorry. I've been laughing so hard. The panelist is using buga tactics. Please, Kwame Owusu Danso, send me your phone number. I have something to share with you. If I give my number out and I'm dead. KOD, good morning to you and your panelists. Ask Saka, what does he expect when freebies are being thrown around during the manifesto launch in the central region? From Kojo in Cape Coast. Good morning to you, KOD. Today, to Saka has come your camp. Good morning to you, KOD. I have never heard a woman's voice as deep as that of the woman sitting directly opposite you. From Mohammed in Tamale. Hajia is a lioness. KOD, I want my brother Saka to understand that I'm a beneficiary of the Student Loan Fund Trust. Up to date, I've not received my share. I had to struggle for a personal loan in order not to defer my course. Ask him to find out the number of students who have deferred their courses due to unpaid loans. Good morning to you, Champion KOD. This MPP government is wicked and doesn't have Ghanaians at heart. I think we as the youth of Ghana must rise up and vote them out. Moses from Bolga. Hello, Pan-African Television. Can I get Pan-African Television's number to call? And also their larger and larger repeated programs and your program outline. You will do that. From Nash in Sagnarigu says, good morning to you, Kwame, and to Comrade Saka for his good submission today and previously. But NDC will remain in opposition forever. See the hypocrite MPP. Now I show you. What didn't they say about Mahama, about the contractor that offered him, hey, Ghana, these people were with the floating voters would show them power. Okay, K-Bar in Sunyane. Alex from Mori, Cape Coast, please, if the KRL helps you to assume a higher position than now, what reward will you give them? If all their company documents qualify them for winning the contract, what will you do? Give the contract to who, if it were you? Good morning to you, Kwame. I am Ibrahim from 2nd D. The problem with MPP supporters is that they lack morality, integrity, and decency in everything they do. Unfortunately, Saka has been afflicted by this Nana-viral disease. They see nothing wrong with anything MPP, even when Baumia opinion lies and steals. God is watching us all. Fact from the MPP manifesto, point 111 and 125, under education is a great lie. That they have paid teachers professional allowances and also paid teachers all their outstanding arrears, which they call legacy arrears. We must circulate this on all teacher platforms. Hey, the messages. Good morning, KOD. I want my brother Saka to understand that I'm a beneficiary. Oh, I think I've read this message already. You sent it more than once. Good morning, KOD. This MPP guy called Saka is joking with us this morning. Okay. Zuboy from the UK. Thank you. Did he say boy? This MPP guy. The MPP has a DNA of lies and always on target of deception. They relegated the importance of infrastructure in the past. Surprisingly, they made a hypocritical U-turn and are telling Ghanaians that about the infrastructural achievement. The 419 tracker won't change the mind of the discerning Ghanaian. Arimiya from Efiduasi in Ashanti region. Messages are a lot, eh? But because of time, let's touch on the other. Gabi, Mama says, so two topics together. And this challenges MPP to a debate over achievements in government, and then I will cancel the royalties deal if I'm elected president. Mahama, please.
Yeah, so yes.
So let's start with the first one.
Over the weekend, after the disappointing presentation by Vice President Bawumia on the achievement of the NPP, which many of those projects, after verification, have been proven to be non-existent. Example is the Adenta AstroTurf project. This morning I was listening to what was Gideon's designation, technical advisor, spokesperson for the vice president, explaining how come the Adenta AstroTurf was wrong, and he attributes it to errors in data inputting. Kwame, according to the office of the vice president who led this whole presentation, according to them, they had a team that went to verify these projects before they were presented to the vice president to be presented to the people of Ghana. When this team went out, what he is calling data inputting mistakes, Adenta municipality is different from Medina municipality in terms of their administrative governance. So I can't understand how they expect people to believe that they said they had an AstroTurf at Medina, but then mistakenly gave it to Adenta, when the people themselves are supposed to have gone down to have verified. They also mentioned, do you know, in their presentation, did you see that picture of the bamboo KVIP? Kwame, did you see that picture of the bamboo KVIP?
I saw it, yes.
So when the vice president's team went on the grounds to verify this project, and they verified that thing, were they themselves excited about what they have created for whichever community they built that thing for? When I ready. Kwame.
Yeah.
I'm laughing, but sometimes I laugh when I should be serious. Kwame, some of the projects that were listed by this vice president, the state housing project, they said is ongoing as a furioso. Yesterday, the PRO for state housing was called on I was listening to City when I was coming, City FM, to verify whether they have an estate project or not. Because, you know, yesterday the NDs had a press conference where we listed some of the projects that the NPP said they had undertaken, but in actual fact, those projects don't even exist. So they called the PRO of state housing to ask about the Sefirioso housing project. According to Vice President Bawumia, the project is what, 20% complete. When they call the PRO, he says, so far, the only thing they've been able to do is to acquire the land. when they went to the site for project verification, did they see even foundation on their site for them to put it down there as 20% completed project, housing project? Anyway, no, I can sit here and list all the actual list. Okay.
You have that time.
But he has given me time. There are so many projects that they have claimed in their book, which is not so. There are some projects that they have taken in their delivery tracker, which are NDC projects. Some projects which are have been undertaken by private NGOs that this NP government has taken as their project. The other day, when I was listening to the news reviews about the delivery tracker, I felt very disappointed in the MMDCs of Akufo-Addo's government because they've left their president and their vice president down. Case in point, that bamboo KVIP. You know, I think that when the circular went round, that all DCEs should present their list of projects. Those who have been sitting there doing nothing for the past 3.5 years just had to showcase something, that they have been doing something. So they came with all kinds of projects, doesn't belong to them, past administration projects, just so that they can say that they've been doing something in their respective assemblies. The much touted, we have the men. I think they left the real men outside governance and accidentally took the wrong ones inside governance because they've let them down. Now, NDC, we are calling for a debate on achievements by both parties. The NPP, through their Minister for Information, Deputy Minister for Information, National Organizer, all kinds of spokespeople have all declined the invitation for President Mahama to debate President Nana Akufo-Addo on infrastructure. According to them, NDC does not have the right to call for that debate because, you see that, let me tell you the reasons that they keep giving. Because NDC cancelled nurses and teacher training allowances and could not implement free SHS. Those are the reasons why the NPP cannot come for a debate. I've also is the proof of our records that our project exists. Now you have also brought proof of your records that your project exists. This is the time for us now to stand as men, leaders, Professor, what's his name? President Akufo-Addo versus President Mahama. And everybody defends their case. But NDC, NPP says no. Because of, and you can't debate we can't debate only on infrastructure, the economic collapse under your watch, you canceled the teacher training allowances, you couldn't implement free SHS. When we implemented a progressive, you give your reasons when it's your turn. When we implemented a progressively free SHS, when we cancelled nurses and teacher training allowances but replaced it with a student loan trust, which actually increased the intake in the nursing and teacher training colleges. But because it always has this propagandist appeal to it, they keep repeating the same two things everywhere they go from 2017 when they came into office up until date. These reasons don't even hold water. Then our presidential candidate has also made mention that when he comes to office, he's going to cancel this Ejapa deal. It's a very controversial deal. Why, as a country, we want to wager mineral resources, mineral royalties into a country, a tax haven, and float shares to get the monies back? That whole deal, one, is shrouded in secrecy. We don't even know in the procurement of their legal and financial in the arrangement whether due process was even followed from day one on this deal. All we hear is that, well, it's good for Ghana because already the mineral royalties come, it goes to the consolidated fund. We don't know where the money goes, and that it's not utilized for investment infrastructure. Everybody knows that monies that go into the consolidated fund, the functions of monies that are put into the consolidated fund, is either paying for something by central government, a project or otherwise. If in the mineral communities, we are having underdevelopment in those places because of lack of infrastructure, I always say that we are better off letting the mining companies partner with the district assemblies and giving them their 10%, 20% royalties to be invested in projects in those communities than to have the money brought into the consolidated fund and then tell us later that we don't know what we use the money for. But it will make sense for us if we rather go and use our mineral royalties to take a $500 million facility immediately and rather use those ones to invest in projects. How many projects? Look at the mining communities we have in Ghana. Currently, we have over almost like 30 something. If you add the northern regions in addition, you know there are gold deposits in the north. If you add all those regions in addition, we have well over 30 something districts that will have to find ways of developing. When these mining companies come and take up concessions, we should rather let them, charge them to invest into the infrastructure in those communities and not just dig up, do some reclamation or reforestation projects to get the land back and then off they go. And then they go off with millions of dollars. Bottom line, when NDC wins power, PDS will be investigated. The money is 1.something billion unaccounted for. Those people who are involved in that deal will be forced to pay back that money to the state, and they will be tried, investigated by IOCO, and tried in a competent law court. EJAPA will be cancelled, and I'm sure in our manifesto we'll make provisions for how we'll handle mineral royalties, but not investing them in tax havens and floating shares, so that people can get legal and financial arrangement fees.
Okay. Hadia.
I thought you were going to Saka.
No.
Yes, that you.
You are very succinct with your delivery, so I just want you to start before Saka. Saka or Chimasosa.
It's about the debate, and then I think it is a running program, should I say, program, because I think the NDC have brought the first shot. They want to debate the MPP concerning developmental projects in this country to compare their achievement. You know, in an election year, everybody wants to speak to the electorate, for the electorate to have confidence in them, in order to vote them into power.
Absolutely.
But Kwame, even though my party is not in power or has not come to power from when we came back to democratic from 1992, but I don't think these two parties can compare their records to the Convention People's Party, be it infrastructure. Look at roads, hospitals, schools, social interventions, and what have you. So if NDC or MPP are speaking about it, they only added onto what we did. And if you look at the record of the Convention People's Party, Kwame Nkrumah, when he was even the leader of government business, why he was able to maximize and then put certain policies in place. As soon as we gained independence in 1957, look at the accelerated development from what he put out there, from Bolgatanga to Ilibu. And then there was this synergy, there was this kind of interconnectivity in whatever project he was doing. Be it factory, he wouldn't just go and put a factory in Zwarungu without knowing what the Zwarungu people, or for that matter, what will equip that factory. If you recall, that time we had an agreement between Ghana and Burkina Faso. That time it was Burkina Faso was Upper Volta.
Upper Volta, yeah.
And then they, you know, because their place was very dry, they moved into Ghana to rear their cows up to the middle belt. When they finish and they are going back, there's a percentage that they leave for Ghana, not free anyway, to sort of feed the factory in Zarungo. And then after that, the skin, the horns and whatever, also fed into certain factories that Nkrumah built. So that was how Nkrumah planned Ghana. When even he was building the Akosombo Dam, people were skeptical about the viability of the Akosombo Dam, saying that at that time when he built the Akosombo Dam, we were about 5 million or 4 million. Yeah. People were saying that, oh, it was a waste of time. People didn't even believe that the project would be a reality. Only for them to realize that after the overthrow, it was Ghanaian engineers who were running the Akosombo Dam. And if you see the road network, Tema Motorway, look at Tema Motorway. There's just some small portions that are not good, that need some services and what have you. And look at the connection now, the new road that is connected to the Tema Motorway. You could see Nkrumah as a visionary leader who was thinking outside the box, who was thinking 50 years ahead of him. That was why people couldn't really understand what Nkrumah was doing. So if there's going to be a debate about development, and for that matter infrastructure, these two parties, they are nowhere near the records of the Convention People's Party. But it will be good. I was thinking that the debate will be for all the political parties. It shouldn't be limited to only MPP and NDC as if they are the only political party in this country. Let's all, if there is going to be a debate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama shouldn't just call Nana Akufo-Addo to debate him, but the whole presidential candidates, because it's Ghana. And Ghana is not made up of only MPP and NDC. It's a multi-party. They want to use this duopoly or NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. Since 1992 till today. The developmental, there's nothing like special arrangement because we also have a say. Because you've muscled us out of parliament. So where we are going to have our say is the debate, whereby our presidential candidate will be ready to debate and tell us, and tell the good people of Ghana what Nkrumah has done within the 9 years that he became the president of this country. Then you compare it to the 16 years NDC, 16 years of MPP. Because whether we like it or not, no, MPP is 12.
MPP is not, yeah.
It's 12.
Yes, 12 years.
Oh, okay. Hey, I shouldn't make a mistake of your flag bearer. When he says 12, 8 years of waste of time, NPP. You do see that video? I shouldn't make that mistake. You see, the issue is that let's look at the debate that the NDC presidential candidate is calling for, and then we'll look at it with holistically. We shouldn't just say MPP and NDC, because there must be somebody in the middle to jab the two of them.
Absolutely.
You understand? To jab the two parties.
Absolutely.
To let them know that this record you are talking about is nowhere near the records of the Convention People's Party. And we are ready for that debate. We are even going to be available. Our presidential candidate will be willing to debate. And the debates should be issue-based, not personality. You understand? Oh, you did the... No. Let's come out with facts and figures to debate each other. I think that will be the best.
Okay. Thank you, Haji Hamda. To quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll listen to Saka Salia. Stay with us.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
breakfast of the day. Every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned into Pan-African Television. Finally, let's listen to Saka Salia on these subject matters, and then we'll walk out of here. Saka, please.
We all know that when it comes to policies, plans, indeed, if we look at the flag bearer, the duality.
Sorry, quick break. Apologies for that, Saka, please.
Yeah, I was talking about the
I like your energy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a message is on Facebook. The person said Saka is gradually becoming like Dr. Baumia. It will become the greatest liar in Wa Central. You are from Wa Central, eh?
Yeah.
The person said up Wa.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that when it comes to inconsistency, the NDC is one. In terms of development, everybody knows that within the Fourth Republic, the party that has achieved so much in its first term is the NPP government. I'm telling you, as we are speaking, we are not even up to 4 years.
Yeah.
But look at the achievements that we churn out. Look at what the Vice President brought out in our delivery tracker. 17,000 or getting to 18,000, and they were referring to the AstroTurf and Medina and Adenta. Just, you know, they are twins towns. And then if maybe we had mentioned Adenta and still mentioned Medina, then you will know that, oh, they are lying. But they were referring to the AstroTurf in Medina. And the NDC once again have taken it and they are happy on it on end, as if they have won a World Cup. She talked of Sefiwiaso. Is it not true? I heard the chief today of Sefiwiaso talk about Sefiwiaso. You can debate the 20% complete. After that one, you can debate. But the chief himself has elaborated all the steps that have been taken, and when we even before a block is put, there are certain percentage of work that is done. Even the site itself, you all know that land is a factor of production. To get the land itself, it has to take an interminable number of consultations or weeks or even months to get proper land. And they ended up having about 50,000 acres of land. And they started with 5,000. They had to do with compensation of cocoa farmers who are on the land. Each cocoa farmer was given about 2,300. So it took time, after which the land was secured and then contractor being sought for. Now, if you go there, you see what is going on. Maybe you can disagree with the percentage. You can say that, oh, the work done might not be up to 20 or is more than that. But the vice president was speaking from the technical point of view, because all the data, all the things that were given to him, he himself did not go there searching for work done. Everything was given to him. So he was working on the technical report that was actually given to him. So you cannot disagree with the percentage of work done and create the impression as if the MPP is not doing anything at all. You talk about state houses and all that. I mean, all these things, the state housing company is actually doing well. They are doing some in even the second D. That they are saying that, oh, it doesn't exist and all those things. If you go to second D, you will see that work is actually ongoing. You talk about John Dramani Mama.
It's not ongoing. It is
See,
land.
you talk about John Dramani Mama saying that, oh, debate, and then the NDC and the propagandists are also using that we should come and debate them on infrastructure. In 2008, when former President Dramani Mahama was coming as a presidential candidate of the NDC, flag bearer. No, not flag bearer. What is it? What the mate? The
running mate.
The running mate of the NDC. He said that comparison of record is a mediocre. Is a recipe for mediocre. Is that not what he said? He said that if somebody built 25 hospitals, and then the government before you built 20 hospitals, it doesn't mean that you have done better than that government. This is what he said. And that if you now want to compare the records of the two, he said it's a mediocre. Oh. This was after the overwhelming infrastructure development of J. Kufuor was put before him. And then he has to parry that one by giving these examples. Today, and fast forward, even in 2016, when he was the president of this land, IEA asked for a debate between him as the president then and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He said no.
Who was the executive director of IEA at the time?
Oh, it was Jean Mensa.
Right.
Yes. He said no. He said no. They don't have time for that.
Oh, okay.
They don't have time to go and then debate. And today, because of the credibility that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo exhumes, and he wants to leverage on that credibility.
Yeah.
On the same platform, he says that Nana Addo should come, so that he will also come. Then the Ghanaians will see the two of them. Then they would then debate infrastructure. So as if forgotten of the
doesn't debate running.
Nana doesn't need, because I mean you cannot leverage on Nana Addo credibility.
Nana is too popular to be.
No. We will not. You see, Kwame.
Who did that?
Kwame, the fact of the matter.
I'm sure the Facebook thing.
Kwame, the fact of the matter is that we are not downplaying him. We are not saying that he doesn't have the right to call for debate, but we are playing his own words to him. That in time past, this is what you did, and we'll pay you in your own coin. And for now, I think that Nana Addo is so busy running this country for us to go and be mountain platform to call John Dramani Mahama to come and stand and talk about what he has done. And if you look at all the achievement and the infrastructure of the NDC, Kwame, can you concentrate here? So that when we finish, then we can talk about those things.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
If you look at all the things that John Dramani Mahama did, or the claim to have done in opposition, it was done within 8-year period. Because I have said it, and let me continue to repeat it. That infrastructure is not like a piece of cake that you buy and cut and give everybody to chop. It takes time. It takes time. All the things that they said they did, they never did them in their first year. The University of Ghana Medical School was commissioned by Professor Mills. Almost everything came in the second year of the NDC government. Only few started by John Dramani Mahama. Even some of them were from the Kufuor regime, like the Euro-Digit projects, the Wa Hospital, Wa Teaching Hospital, the Nsoko Hospital, the Kumasi Military Hospitals.
Why do you describe it as communication?
The Sefi Hospital, and all that, even the Tamale facelift.
I've changed it already.
Almost everything. So now we are talking about, if we are talking about first-term governance, you cannot compare your mediocre performance to that of Nana Addo. And bear in mind, we are not only doing infrastructure. When we just even, open small for you people to see what we are doing, look at the way you are running helter-skelter, running for cover. Almost everywhere. Look at the I'm telling you that if we were hiding our infrastructure from the public or anybody, we would not have made it so public to the extent that any Tom, Dick, and Harry can now Google the infrastructure delivery tracker and then see what we are doing. As we are sitting here, all of us, the four of us, can Google and then see what the MPP government is doing, what we have done, what we are yet to do, and what we are doing currently. But your green book, it's only you that have it. Am I lying? So you are hiding your green book. You come and hide it with yourself, and then
we also have a website.
What is the name of the website? Look at this.
Okay.
And then you use Kofo Legacy.
Thank you.
As part of Kofo Legacy.
Thank you very much.
You use Kwame, and the last thing, you know the Pokwasi interchange, the Tema interchange, the Obichebi interchange, and all that. Then this is that we should give them credit. We're saying that okay, let's give you credit, but also give credit when it's due. When Kofo Ujet projects come, my brother was here the last time. He said that the World Teaching Hospital, he and John Mama, the chief people, said he and John Mama, they sat down and then they were thinking when it was so clear. If you go to the Eurojet project, Eurojet website, you see the 9 teaching hospitals where the monies were sought from. Kofo got the parliamentary approval and then the cabinet approval and everything before he left office. Okay. And this company is coming from Egypt.
Thank you very much.
And then you people will not give credit.
Thank you, Saka.
But always say that you are infrastructure kings.
Thank you very much, Saka Salia. Thank you very much, Gabriela Tete. Thank you very much, Haji Hamda too.
And added it to their manifesto.
Which one? The
no, the skills development fund.
Even talk about credit.
It's already I thought we were going to discuss NPP manifesto.
Well, no matter what you do. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye bye.